Thanks very much for joining us for one of our periodic check-ins on what's going on in Washington, D.C. with regard to crucial issues directly affecting us here in Massachusetts. No one better to do it with than a senior member of the state's delegation and ranking member of the House Rules Committee, 2nd District Congressman Jim McGovern of Worcester. Congressman, good to see you.
Happy to be with you.
So we're inching closer to the moment of truth when Congress will have to either pass the debt ceiling legislation necessary to maintain the federal government's credit rating or not. Last week, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy suggested some cuts the Republicans want in exchange for that usually routine vote, including rolling back federal spending levels to last year's levels, limiting the growth of spending over the next decade to 1% annually, and adding new work requirements for adults without dependents who use the federal food stamp program. Does he have the votes, and what would all that mean to Massachusetts?
So I don't know whether he has the votes in the House or not. We'll see next week. But the bottom line is playing games with the debt ceiling represents an all-time high in recklessness and stupidity. You know, this is serious. This is about paying our bills that have already been accumulated. When Trump was president, Democrats went along and we increased the debt ceiling 3 times. Not because we agree with his policies. We thought his tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations was unconscionable. It added trillions to our debt. But we did it because it's a responsible thing to do. If you want to fight about spending priorities, it is in the appropriations process and in the budget process. But you know, to default on our debt, to not live up to the full faith and credit of the United States is a disaster. And he's playing a very, very dangerous game.
Well, with regard to the food stamps, the SNAP program, I think many of our viewers know it that way. He said when he suggested tightening the work requirements, quote, incentives matter, and the incentives today are out of whack, meaning incentives for older adults without dependents to work instead of taking these food stamps.
So first of all, let's set the record straight. I mean, his narrative doesn't represent the reality. The majority of people on the SNAP program who are able-bodied and who can work actually do work. They earn so little they still qualify for the benefit. So why aren't we talking about increasing wages? Secondly, by raising the age in which work requirements will be mandated means that a lot of older people will lose their benefit. And again, this is a food benefit. That's all you can get with SNAP is food. And so to take food away from people, to increase hunger in this country is unconscionable, and he should be ashamed of himself.
I understand Meals on Wheels is also on the block.
Meals on Wheels, WIC, you know, people might lose their health insurance because there's a work requirement for Medicaid. There are cuts in environmental protection programs. I mean, you name it. Anything that helps people, anything that helps my constituents is on the chopping block.
Do they have polling that suggests this is smart politically?
No, I don't think they have the polling that supports any of this. But the problem is Kevin McCarthy gave away everything, including his dignity, to become Speaker of the House. And so the shots are being called not by Kevin McCarthy, but by a small group of very extreme right-wing Republicans who are demanding these crazy cuts and so many other things. And if he doesn't go along with it, you know, then he may lose his speakership.
Do you think he's in over his head?
Yeah, I think he made a terrible bargain with some really terrible people in Congress. As a result of that, I mean, we are on the edge of a potential catastrophe. I mean, he seems to be willing to push our economy over the cliff. It would be disastrous for our country if he were to do this. And so we'll see how it all plays out next week. But this is not the way it should be. And by the way, Donald Trump, who they all, you know, genuflect in front of, when he was president, he made a public statement. I posted it on my social media page in which he said that the debt ceiling vote is sacred. We shouldn't play politics with it. We shouldn't attach things to it. It ought to be a clean up or down vote. And that's what we're demanding. Let us have a clean up or down vote on the debt ceiling, and then let us have these other battles on the appropriations bills and on the budget bill.